Hey guys, Travis Britt here with SOCEprep.com, where you get all your study guides that you need for the Statewide Officer Certification Exam, whether you're in a basic recruit training program or you want to transfer your certification from another state into the sunny state of Florida, right? So let's check this question out, guys, and let me know if I can help you out on my website, SOCEprep.com. It says, find an example below that illustrates the doctrine of the fruits of the poisonous tree, right? So we're going to talk about what fruits of the poisonous tree is real quick, but I want to make a point, test-taking strategy. If you don't know what something is on this test, it doesn't mean that you just give up, right? Don't get filled up with anxiety because you don't know what something means, because in the answer choices, you got 4 choices. There's one correct answer. There are 3 that are incorrect, right? So if we can eliminate choices, our odds are going to go up immensely as we eliminate. If we eliminate 2, we're flipping a coin at that point. If you flip coins on this test, you'll pass it. So don't freak out. Don't wig out. If you see something you don't know what it is, it's a ton of content. You're probably going to get a question or two where you're just like, I have no idea what they're asking me to do. But there'll probably be something in the answer choices that you recognize. So let's eliminate if we can. Fruits of the poisonous tree, guys, it's a due process clause, right? So it basically says that no matter what you find on the streets as a police officer, if you don't follow due process, you don't go by the law of the Constitution, you put the cart before the horse, then no matter what you find, it's going to be bunk, right? It's going to get suppressed. Suppressed by the defense attorney. He's going to ask for a suppression hearing. He's going to get thrown out, right? And if we don't follow due process, we can't convict beyond a reasonable doubt. The case is going to get dismissed no matter what happens, right? So give you an example real quick. On the 4th Amendment, you're protected against unreasonable search and seizure, which means the government should not be in your house. The government should not be in your pockets. The government should not be looking at your phone if you have done nothing wrong, right? So let's put this example together. Police officer has a hunch, right? We talked about our 3 stops, our encounters, right? We got mutual encounter, consensual encounter, investigative stops. We got probable cause. And those tiers 1, 2, and 3. We need more to get more, right? So let's say we got a hunch. Hunch is not much, right? I can't even really detain an individual for a reasonable amount of time to confirm or deny on my hunch. I need reasonable, articulable suspicion. So you just have a hunch, right, that somebody's selling dope in a house, right? So a trap house. You want to go up and you want to knock and talk that door. That's okay if you want to knock and talk it, right? But we don't have a search warrant, so we can't go inside that home. So with that being said, let's say that you just want to be slick. You do some bootleg police work and the door opens up and you just sneak yourself in and you see a dead body laying on the floor. All right, so you make a bunch of arrests. You're like, wow, I just made an awesome arrest. Somebody murdered somebody in this trap house. You find a bunch of dope, right? You find a bunch of guns, a bunch of illegal stuff inside this house. They're going to come to the probable cause hearing, right? Set of facts and circumstances lead a reasonable prudent person to believe the person in question was or was about to commit said crime. And they're going to ask, what was your probable cause, right? Why did you come into contact with my client, right? And you're going to be like, oh, I had a hunch. Hunch is not enough. It protects you against unreasonable search and seizure. If you did not have a warrant, you shouldn't have been in that dwelling without some exigent circumstances or exceptions. So with that being said, right, you put the cart before the horse, right? All that stuff and evidence that you found is going to get suppressed, right? And your shoddy police work is going to let somebody that's a murderer, somebody that's a drug dealer, somebody that's got illegal guns, walk back out on the streets to do it again with no respect for the criminal justice system. So don't do that, right? That is fruits of the poisonous tree, and it's called fruits of the poisonous tree. Just remember it, guys. If you had a mango tree in the front yard, it bare beautiful fruit, and I told you you could eat all the mangoes off the bush that you wanted, right? And you were like, wow, can't wait to smash these mangoes. But then as you go to take your first bite, I tell you, hey, I've been putting poison on those roots for the last decade, all right? I don't know if it made it up to the mangoes or not, but you're welcome to eat them. Would you eat that fruit? You would not if you had any sense, right? So the fruits of the poisonous tree doctrine, right? If the roots have been soiled with poison, then the fruit bears no crime, right? So got to follow due process. Got to follow due process. Got to follow due process. So now that I've told you what the fruits of the poisonous tree doctrine is, let's look through our answer choices. A says a police officer contains a scene that's filled with hazmat. I'm going to scratch that one, right? Doesn't sound like, sounds like a trap, right? They put it up high. All right, because I'm thinking about poison and hazmat. Those two kind of feel like a nexus or a connection, but it's a bunk. It's a bad answer choice. I'm going to scratch it. B says a police officer immediately recognizes contraband during a lawful Terry frisk and makes an arrest, right? So then there again, that's a true statement, but it's not the correct answer, right? But because that's constitutional, that's due process. If I'm on a Terry stop, I have an investigative stop, reasonable articulable suspicion. I'm trying to confirm or deny for a reasonable amount of time. And I do a Terry frisk because they were likely armed and dangerous at the time of the contact. I could articulate that they were armed at the time of the contact. Terry frisk, immediately recognize a bag of crack cocaine. I'm removing that bag of crack cocaine. Now, we don't use our Terry frisk as search, but case law says if it's immediately recognizable, it can be recovered. So that's a true statement, but it has nothing to do with fruits of the poisonous tree because that's good per case law. C says a police officer does not read Miranda in a custodial interrogation. Custodial interrogation meaning they're not free to go. They're detained, right? And they're getting asked questions and then they confess to a crime. Ooh, that one looks pretty good, right? Because I know per Miranda that if it's custodial, right, meaning they're not free to go, and you're asking questions that could self-incriminate, which is protected under which amendment? The 5th, number 5, Miranda versus Arizona. That's a problem, so I'm going to hold on to that one. D says a police officer requests a driver's license on a traffic stop for a violation, but the driver's license is suspended, right? That's a probable cause, right, to put that vehicle on the curb. And what do I do? What do I do? You legally have to submit your biographical information on a lawful traffic stop. It's a privilege. It's not a right. Right? It's not protected in the Bill of Rights to let you drive on the state of Florida. All right. So with that being said, that doesn't make a whole lot of sense either. So we have narrowed it down to C. C is the correct answer. Due process, Miranda. If it's custodial and you're interrogating someone, you're asking them questions that could self-incriminate, which would put them in jail, put them in prison, then you have to read Miranda and make sure they waive their rights under the 5th Amendment protected in the Bill of Rights. Bill of Rights being what? The first 10 amendments. You got to know all this stuff, guys, if you want to pass the statewide officer certification exam. If you are flustered, don't be. Come check me out, soceprep.com. I can help you out. Got some free resources on there for you to use as well. Go over there and check them out. Check my free resources out. If you like these videos, like, comment, subscribe, all that. Happy hogwash. And go check my free resources out because they could help you as well. You don't have to buy one of my study plans, but you do have to put a plan together if you want to pass this test. Again, guys, Travis Britt, soceprep.com. Thank you for your time. Have a blessed day. Goodbye.